Time to take another dip into the SEC as we have another good game of the week as you see on your screen right now. We'll get into that later on. It's going to be another good week of college football as we got some games in the top 25, and then we had to dip down to the FCS this week because there is one game that caught my eye, and it's always a good matchup. Let's get into it. Starting off with the 11 o'clock games, you have number 10 Penn State traveling to the Big House to take on the Wolverines. If the game on SEC was not the game of the week, this most certainly has a massive argument towards it. It is number 10 at number 5, Penn State, Michigan. You cannot get any better for opening game for this week's predictions other than Penn State, Michigan. Let's take a look at the matchup predictor. It does say Michigan at 7 with a 73% chance of winning, but you gotta look at the teams that both Michigan and Ohio or Penn State has faced. Looking at from week I would say week 2 to week 7. No, week 1. Oh no, week 2 to week no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Week 2 to 5. Sorry. Or week 2 to 6. Jesus Christ. Week 2 to 6, you've got Purdue, a close game against Purdue with Penn State, a dominant win with Hawaii for Michigan, UConn dominant, Ohio dominant for either side. Going down to Auburn to beat the Tigers, that was a statement win. That had to be a statement win. Then you get a close game between Maryland, and then an easy walk in the park at Kinnick for Michigan. An easy win for Central Michigan, and then a close game with Northwestern for Penn State. For both Central Michigan and Northwestern, and then a close game to halftime, and then Michigan just ran away with it. So you're talking two undefeated teams that are looking to make a statement in the CFP. Those rankings start, I think, next week. So we got to get ready for that. I think they start next week. If not next week, it's the following week. But this one is going to be tough. And I got to pick the home team. I like the atmosphere for Michigan to be better. Hold on. There we go. I like the atmosphere for Michigan over Penn State, but don't count out Penn State to not pull off some form of an upset on the road at Michigan. But Michigan's a really hard stadium to play at. Moving on down, you have Auburn and Ole Miss. Now, Auburn's had a type of year. Looking at the spread, it's Ole Miss by 14.5 points here. I just really don't see Auburn doing much. Auburn will make a bowl game this year. They always end up finding a way to do it. 1 and 2 in conference play. I say they drop down to 1 and 3. I gotta pick the Rebels here. Gotta get that navy with the red. Actually, do red lettering with navy background. Yeah, there we go. I gotta go Ole Miss in this one. I just don't see any showing of offense by Auburn. I mean, yes, they're a 3-3 team. I don't think they're the best 3-3 team out there, though. Moving on down, you have number 19 Kansas traveling to Norman to take on the Sooners. Oklahoma got absolutely rocked by Texas. The first time that the Golden Hat stays in Texas instead of traveling back north of the border across the Red River. Here's the thing about this, though. Kansas, first time being ranked since 2009, and they didn't show like they were a top 25 team. They really didn't. They had a close dogfight with TCU. We'll pick their game here in a couple picks. They play Oklahoma State. They had a dogfight with TCU. I just don't see. I'm keeping the hate on Kansas here. They have not proven anything yet. Yes, they've beaten unranked opponents, one of them being Iowa State. But looking at that Iowa State game, they only won by 3 points. So what I'm saying is if they're in a dogfight, it's either they pull off a slight win or they lose by a touchdown. There's this one is a little bit difficult. I gotta stick with Oklahoma here. I just really don't see. I really don't see Kansas doing much when you get to teams like Texas and then Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma gets a bounce back game. They really need it. And Oklahoma's just, like I said, Oklahoma's not the Oklahoma that we know. But they're not the Oklahoma team that we know that's going to lose to Kansas. Like, let's be honest here. That's a long stretch of losing streak that can't end. It personally. Moving on down, you have Minnesota and Illinois. Now, Illinois coming off a touchdown allergic excuse me. Illinois coming off in a touchdown allergic football game against Iowa. That one, that was really tough to even follow. Like, I have a buddy giving me updates on it, Elijah giving me updates on it. And Illinois, but guys, look at their offense. Their loss to Indiana, beat Virginia, beat Chattanooga, dominated Wisconsin, I'm going to say, and then a close battle with Iowa. But the only reason that was such a close battle is because the offense had mistakes up the wazoo. And you got Minnesota, whose only loss was to Purdue, which knocks them out of the top 25. Now, this is Minnesota's first game off the bye week. I'm going to throw that out there because we are going into the 14th here. I'll pull this up really quick. Yeah, we're going into the 15th, and they didn't play at all last Saturday. So yeah, we're talking a team who's coming off a bye week after a loss, which gives them time to think, okay, what do we need to make mistake? What do we need to fix here? And Purdue's known for upsetting teams on the road. Looking back, I'm gonna bring it up again. Iowa when they were ranked in the top 5. I say Minnesota can pull off this win. The offense for Illinois just completely didn't show up last week, and if Minnesota can capitalize on that, then Minnesota can pull off not it would be classified as an upset because of the location, but Minnesota's the one that's favored here. Next up, you have Georgia and Vanderbilt. I can't pick against Georgia here. You can't. Georgia's too good of a team. Vanderbilt, yes, Vanderbilt is showing some improvement here. Looking at their record here really quick. They're 3-3, but they're 0-2 in conference. So all they need is to pull out 3 more wins, and they're bowl eligible. Sorry, I'm working on that. I promise. But looking at this, they're 0-3 against ranked opponents. So you're looking at a team. So Georgia, I gotta pick the Bulldogs here. There's no shot in hell that Vanderbilt's got a chance at winning this game. No offense to Vanderbilt fans. Next up, you have Oklahoma State and TCU. This one's going to be a dogfight. Looking at 2 undefeated, a possible Big 12 title preview here. Because both these teams, yes, are undefeated. One of these teams losing does not affect them making the Big 12 title game whatsoever. They both could make it. You're looking at a TCU team that's beat a Kansas team and an Oklahoma team, but both those teams are not very good. Looking at Oklahoma State, beat Central Michigan, beat Arizona State, beat APB, beat Baylor on the road, and then beat Texas Tech. Now, you're talking 2 teams who haven't played, I'd say, really good football. Is that a good way to describe it? Looking at Baylor, their one game I'm going back to that Iowa State game when Baylor played them. Baylor did not look good at all in that game. They really didn't. They got bailed out so many times by missed calls and calls that just wanted to be called against Iowa State because, well, I'm guessing they were from Texas and I'm guessing they were all Baylor graduates. I'm gonna pick TCU here in this one. I really like I really like I really like how the Horned Frogs are doing this year. I see one of these two teams winning in the actual matchup that we see in front of us. And then later on, the other team is probably going to win in Arlington. Keep an eye out on that. Next up, you have a top 25 matchup featuring a new top 25 team this year for us to predict. That is NC State traveling to the Carrier Dome to take on the Syracuse Orange. Now, I had a dude when I was at work wearing an actual Syracuse, like he was an alumni of uh of Syracuse, like he was a Syracuse alum, and I was literally telling them, are they going to be ranked here soon? He goes, they should be. They they had a really good they had a really good feeling about it, and if like I said, this is another game that could have been a top 25 match, that could have been a game of the week candidate. But we decided to stick with obviously our choice. You could see it when we're back on the sheet, but this is the one that that's the one we went with. But this one is going to be really, really fun to watch. I won't be able to watch it, but God, I wish I could because this would be a fun game to watch. Uh, I have to. NC State. Looking at this, they're coming off a dogfight with Florida State, and you look at Syracuse's wins. They've beat Louisville, who can be good. UConn, not so good. Purdue, who just upset a top 25 team. Virginia in a dogfight, which Virginia can always be a good team in and day out. And then Wagner, which is a FCS opponent, which I mean, you can't really say that that's really much of a challenge. And then you look at NC State's last five. Charleston Southern, that was a dominant win. Texas Tech, close battle. UConn, like I said, UConn not that good this year. Clemson, a close dogfight, but a loss. And then Florida State with a close but pulling off the win that time. I'm gonna pick Syracuse in this one. I'm actually gonna pick them as my lock of the week. Oh, wrong color. Wrong color. I'm actually gonna pick the Qs as my lock of the week here. I haven't watched much of Syracuse at all this year. I really am a real big fan of how Syracuse is playing this year. I really am. Moving on down, you have a non-top 25 matchup, but this one caught my eye because I mean, if you look at the flipping, it's even. Oh my god, that's insane. That's insane. So I can't even go off that. Okay, let's go off their last 5 games here. Oh Lord, Arkansas. Okay, okay, okay. So looking at the last 5, BYU coming off the win over Baylor, then turns around and loses to Oregon, beats Wyoming, beats Utah State, and then goes to Vegas to lose to Notre Dame. But that was a really good game by them, though. It looks like it. And then looking at Arkansas, their last 3 were all losses. And we're talking losses by a field goal hitting the top of the upright to A&M, getting absolutely demolished by both Alabama and then turning around and losing to Mississippi State. I can't I don't see I really don't see BYU or Arkansas doing much. So for that, I've got to pick BYU to win that game. Like I said, I just don't see Arkansas recovering. Like, I mean, they possibly can, but like they're on a trend where if they keep this up, they're gonna end up not making a bowl game, which we're gonna start getting into those soon. Now we're getting into the one FCS game that caught my eyeball, and I wish there was a matchup predictor and a spread for this game, but there is. Actually, I'm gonna see if there is while I'm talking about it. It's South Dakota State and the North Dakota State Bison. Now, these two teams both have really good football programs. So this game could go either way, to be honest. Looking at is there a spread for this game? Is there a spread for this game? There's gotta be. There has to be. Odds and spread. Here we go. So the spread. So North Dakota State. This is for. No, that's for a few years ago. Is there a spread for this game? Oh, come on. There's got to be a spread. There has to be. I don't know. There isn't. I'm not finding a spread. I would give the favorite to. Well, okay. I'll give the favorite to North Dakota State here because it is in the Carrier Dome. It's in the Fargo Dome, not the Carrier Dome, the Fargo Dome. But South Dakota State does have. South Dakota State and North Dakota State both have history of dogfighting against each other, and well, with it being inside, this isn't really going to be much of a weather factor game. So like you could see South Dakota State pulling off the win. Unfortunately, I have to. I gotta pick the North Dakota State Bison here. That's just. Oh, actually, let me do yellow. Let me do that yellow with the dark green. There we go. I gotta pick North Dakota State in this one. North Dakota State is too dominant at home. They really are. They're way too dominant at home. Next up, you have James Madison, another new top 25 team. The Dukes taking on the Eagles of Georgia Southern, a conference game, but which Georgia Southern needs to find a way to pull off a win here. Now, James Madison is favored. Looking at their previous matchups here, uh, they beat Appalachian State. That was the Appalachian State blew this game badly. They falconed that game, as everyone has memed it to be. They falconed that game, and it was flippin' funny. And then they beat Texas State and then Arkansas State. This one, I can see. This one is a no doubter as to who I'm gonna think is gonna win. It's gonna be it's going to be it's gonna be James Madison in that one. I love the Dukes in this one, and I love that the fact that they made the jump because now we can actually feature them in games such as this. I'm actually gonna make them a little bit darker purple. There we go. That's a little bit more fitting. Next up, you have Louisiana Tech and North Texas, two new teams that we haven't predicted all this year. Looking at the spread here, it's 6.5 in favor of North Texas, with both of these teams looking to win another conference game for each other, with this being a Conference USA matchup here. Looking at their previous 5, it's been basically even. So one of these teams is going to go back to back, is going to do a loss-win-loss. Looking at Louisiana Tech's here, lost to Missouri State, or to Missouri, beat a Stephen F. Austin, lost to Clemson, lost to USA, or Southern Alabama, and lost to Texas El Paso. And then North Texas, the loss to Southern Methodist, the beatdown of Texas Southern, lost to UNLV, lost to Memphis, and then beat FAU. So both these teams, this could be a win for either side. It really can. I'm gonna get the mean green in this one. I really like the mean. It's the mean green. Yeah, I like the mean green here. It's kind of It's kind of a I have no idea kind of a pick, but I kind of want to pick. I picked North Texas in this one. Moving on down. Whoa, hello. Moving on down, you have Wisconsin and Michigan State here. This one is. This one's going to be actually a really good game, hopefully. Because looking at the matchup predictor, Wisconsin's favored by 7.5, but then you're looking at a Michigan Spartans team who's 0-3 in conference play, and they're the first team to go to. I think they're the first team I've seen that's gone to 4 losses. Michigan State needs a bounce back. They really need it. Excuse me. They really need a bounce back game, and I think Michigan State can pull off the win here. But I'm gonna play it safe. I am gonna give it to Wisconsin on this one. I'm gonna give it to Wisconsin here. I just really don't see. I don't see Michigan State probably finding out that Wisconsin offense. I really don't. Next up, you have Rice and Florida Atlantic here. FAU is having a type of year. So is Rice, but these are teams looking for their second conference win of the year. Look at this being another Conference USA. Did down to the Conference USA games. Dang, didn't even know that I was doing most of the Conference USA games. Really didn't intend that. I was just trying to fill the sheet here. This game will be played at Boca Raton, Florida, and I'm gonna take. Who am I gonna pick here? I'm gonna pick. This is a close game here. This could be a close game. FAU is favored only by 4, but Rice could pull off the win here. I'm gonna pick FAU because I'm gonna pick them because they're the home team. But don't be surprised if Rice does end up winning this game. Next up, you have Arkansas State and Southern Miss. Now, this one I was really excited to throw this one in. I actually had the parents of a freshman quarterback come through my work for Arkansas State. It was let me look. I can't remember his name, but Jackson Daly. His parents came through my work the other day. He's out of Pleasant Hill, so he went to where'd he go? He went to Southeast Polk High School. So, I don't want to pick favorites here. Let me look at the matchup predictor really quick before I predict anything. Southern Miss is favored to win. USM is favored to win here. Actually, you know what? I am gonna pick Arkansas State here. Like I said, I don't want to pick favorites here, but but honestly, I, I think that I think Arkansas State could actually pull off a win, can actually pick up some wins here, and maybe even make a bowl game here. Moving on down, you have LSU and Florida, another SEC matchup here. This one's going to be really exciting to watch. You're looking at a team that's 1-2. Pause that. You're looking at a team that's 1-2 in conference play in the SEC, and you're also talking cross division here. So Florida needs a win to get back into the conversation of playing for the SEC title. And you have LSU, who is 2 games out of that actually technically, yeah, you could say, yeah, 2 games that's out of that conversation, with Alabama and Ole Miss being on top of both of them with the top spot. This game is in the Swamp. And the last time these two teams played down in Gainesville, I think it was in Gainesville. If I remember correctly, this was the 2020 matchup that someone flung a shoe down the field and LSU pulled off the win. I think it was that game. So, with that being said, I'm actually going to take the Bayou Bengals in this one. I I could really see both teams doing really good here. I just really like LSU in this one. Moving on down, you have Clemson, number 4 in the nation, traveling to Florida State to taking on the Noles. This one might be really good of a football game. Yes, Clemson's only favored by 3.5. There's not an article. Well, there's an article. Seeks 7th straight win over Florida State. This is in Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. This one, I don't know about this one. I really don't. If you look at Florida State's 2 losses, it's their only 2 losses on the year. Let's throw that out there really quick. Their only 2 losses. They were both to ranked opponents. One of them was to a brand newly ranked Wake Forest team, and one of them was to an experienced NC State team who just lost to Clemson. Oh, not the week prior, but the week before that. So you're looking at a really good matchup here. This one is going to be tricky. I want to play safe and give it to Clemson, but I just think that Florida team is bound for something good this year. So I am going to pick Florida State here. I just really think Clemson has shown that they have the offense, and Florida State has also shown they have the offense and the defense. Clemson also has the defense to back up their offense. Like I said, this one is just too close to call. I'm picking Florida State here. It's not my upset of the week. I'm gonna get to that. It's my upset's probably a long shot, to be honest. Moving on down, you have Mississippi State and Kentucky. This one, let me look at it really quick before I say what I gotta say here. This one might be close. Might be a close matchup. This is going to be in Lexington. Looking at the previous matchups, you're looking at a 5-1 Mississippi Bulldogs team that not only that didn't just lose to LSU, but did pull off a win against the 17th ranked Texas A&M team, who Texas A&M then goes on to almost upset Alabama the week 2 weeks actually the week after. So we're gonna be talking a really good matchup here. Excuse me. And then looking over, you have Kentucky lost to Ole Miss, and then an upset loss to South Carolina. This one, I can see both sides winning this. I'm going to give it to the Mississippi State Bulldogs here. I'm a little skeptic on Kentucky. I really am here. Moving on down, you have another 2 new teams that we haven't predicted at all yet. It's Memphis and East Carolina, the Pirates and the Tigers. East Carolina is favored by 5, so that might be my decision here. But looking at the past 5 games, um, good lord, come on! I'm trying to not yawn. I'm doing okay. I really am. You got we got East Carolina beating Old Dominion, Campbell as an FCS team. A double overtime shootout with Navy. USF a win over them, and then a loss to a really good Tulane team. Actually, I hear Tulane's actually off to a really good start this year, and hopefully they can finish out. They'll make a bowl game. I know they will. I mean, I think Tulane only has one loss on the year. I'm not picking that team, so that really doesn't matter. But like, kind of keep an eye out for Tulane. Might be able to throw them in for a game later on this year. And then you got oh crap, wrong one. And then you got Memphis, who dominates Navy, beats Arkansas State, beats North Texas, dominates Temple, and then has a dogfight of a loss to Houston. And that one, Memphis completely blew that game. All they need to do, but here's the thing. Here's what they're gonna do. They're gonna hit the reset button. They're gonna turn it around. They're actually gonna go into East Carolina and pull off the win here. So I'm going to give this game to the Tigers here. I really like. I really. I real. I like what I'm seeing out of Memphis so far this year. Guess with the only 2 losses on the year, one of them being to a good Houston team. But yeah, moving on down, you have who do we got? We got USC and Utah. This okay, so I listened to the Joe Klatt show. What was it, last week? He hasn't uploaded anything yet this week. I'm actually surprised about that. Did he actually upload something this week? Hold on. Did he? If he has, I haven't heard anything. Okay, yeah. He uploaded he actually uploaded his predictions with Penn State, Michigan, Alabama, and Utah over, and then he predicts Utah over USC. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna get completely flagged for this, but like, I gotta hear what. I'll have to listen to that later. I really want to hear what he has to say, but unfortunately, I'm not able to. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna get flagged for copyright for that. But I really like. I'm gonna probably pick Utah here. I really think that Utah and USC had look ahead games last week. They didn't get caught in the trap, and they looked ahead, and now they're looking at each other. This game is going to be interesting. Uh, with it being, oh crap, I might as well do silver for the lettering. Which one did I do? I did the darker silver. I might as well do silver for the lettering and then the red for the background. That'll work. Yeah, I got Utah on that one. Moving on down, you have Washington State and Oregon State. This one, um, this one caught my eye as another game I should throw in here. Because of the spread here at 3.5 for Oregon State. Now, looking at the records here, Washington State's better than what the record shows. Look at this. Look at their last 5. A dogfight with Oregon. A good dogfight with Oregon. And then, yes, USC, but that's USC. Let's be honest here. And then Oregon State, they're a close fight to USC, and gets dominated by Utah. So like I said, that one is like that one's gonna be interesting. And this is gonna be interesting to look at because if you also look, Washington State did beat Wisconsin, and that's the reason Wisconsin's not ranked. So this one is going to be a tricky one to predict, but I am going to give the slight edge to the Cougars here. I'm going to give the slight edge to the Cougars. Let me do the darker one. There you go. That looks a lot better. Now, this one, I actually have some stats to go over. It's Texas and Iowa State. Oh god. This Iowa State team has absolutely destroyed me. It's giving the team is literally giving me nothing but anxiety. So, but look, I'm gonna take a look at the stats from the last 2 games. I'll pull up their last 5 here. I'll pull up their last 5 here, and we're gonna go over it. So, looking at Iowa State, Hunter Deckers went 22 for 38 for 198 yards. No touchdowns were scored in the game against Kansas State. No touchdowns were scored in game against Kansas State. Are also looking at the last 3 games for Iowa State. Look how close those games are. 1 score losses, either each direction. So one score loss to Baylor. We got screwed over by the refs. A field goal loss to Kansas. Can't hate the kicker on that one because he is a freshman. He hasn't been put in that many situations before. and then a close battle with Kansas State. Now they're not giving Iowa State any benefit of the doubt here, and I don't blame them at all whatsoever, because if you look at the Longhorns, I think that's how you pronounce his name, right? Oh, it's not. Hold on, what? I have a different name for quarterback here. Ewers was the quarterback. I'm guessing he's going to be the quarterback for the game for this game here. So Ewers went 21 for 31 for 289 and 4 touchdowns, but he also had an interception. Look, and then Robinson had 22 carries for 130 yards for 2 touchdowns. And then Whittington had 5 receptions for 97 yards in their win over Oklahoma. Looking back to Iowa State, Jairo Brock had a great game. 13 carries for 33 yards. He did get shut down on the yardage though. And then Hutch had an okay game personally. I was able to watch that whole game. 8 receptions for 100 yards, but he dropped 3 crucial passes. One of them would have been a first down. One of them would have been a touchdown, and the other one would have been a first down that would have kept the game going. So a 16-point favorite for Texas, I really do not see that. I mean, yes, yes, they did dominate Oklahoma. But I've said this all year long. Oklahoma is not the team that we know. They really aren't. So with that being said, this is the biased opinion, but it is my upset. I am picking Iowa State to wrong button. I'm picking Iowa State as my upset of the week. This is not an easy game for Iowa State. They need to go in. They need to figure out their offense, because if they don't figure out their offense, Texas is just going to run over that defense. Yes, Iowa State's defense is top tier. There's no arguing that. Iowa State has a top tier offense. But let me rephrase that, because I said offense. Has a top tier defense. You cannot argue that. Iowa State's defense is the reason they have lost by 1 point each time, by 1 score each time, and then the dominant win over Ohio. Now you're looking at a team that's number 23, well, technically 22. They're tied with Kentucky, but I put them at 23 because I didn't think Texas was better than Kentucky. That's just not going to be an easy win it's not going to be an easy win for either side. And if you look at the last time Iowa State was in Texas, it was a field goal that decided the game, and it was no good. I was like, I really was like this when I found out Iowa State won. I was like, oh my god, I feel bad for that kicker. But that's beside the point. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still have 6 games left to go in the year. Iowa State can still find a way to muster out 3 of those wins. I think Oklahoma is going to be one of them. I think West Virginia could be the other one, and Texas Tech could be the other one. Texas, heck, they could win all 6. That is a possibility. But I'm picking Iowa State in this one, and moving on down, for our second to last game, you have Utah Tech and Northern Iowa. This one is just a dog park. This is just a walk in the park here. Only win was against a Division II team for the Trailblazers, and Northern Iowa just needs to figure something out. They had a close fight with Illinois State, and I'm picking Northern Iowa. I gotta stick with the Panthers here. They're the dark purple with the gold. Actually, I'm gonna do the black with purple. Can I do that? Black with purple. Yeah, that looks cool. All right. Finally, to our game of the week. And I know this has gone for 30 minutes, almost 40 minutes now. I'm not trying to prolong this, but now we are into our game of the week, and that is Alabama at Tennessee. Let's look at the matchup predictor. This Alabama is the favorite here by 7. You're also talking a team that's going to probably don the checkerboard pattern in the stadium at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. Excuse me. And you're also talking, and we're looking at the last 5. Both these teams are undefeated. Alabama does have the extra game. They're waiting for their bye week. Tennessee, I think, is also waiting for their bye week. I think Alabama's going to get 2, though. They have to. I don't know. But a close battle with Texas, dominant of Ball State, dominant of Louisiana Monroe and Vanderbilt, close dogfight with Pitt, dominant win over Akron, dominant win over Arkansas, a win over Florida, dominant win over LSU for Tennessee, and then A&M almost a loss. I watched that game and that defense almost blew it for Alabama. If Alabama plays that same exact way, I really think that this Tennessee team can pull off the win. It's a 3 versus 6 matchup. I gotta pick the Tennessee Volunteers here. It's just too close to call. And if Alabama plays the same way they did last week against an unranked opponent, how are they going to do against a number 6 Tennessee team? Like, give me a break here. Give me a break here. But yeah, that's going to be my predictions. Let's swing over and look at Elijah's picks. Wow, we have a lot of differences, I think. Yes, we do. We have a lot of differences this week. So, he's got Michigan, Ole Miss. He's got Kansas. I got Oklahoma. I have Minnesota. He has Illinois. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7. 7, 8. I think 8. 8 or 9. We have 9 differences this week. So one of us is bound to either take a massive lead here, or one of us is bound to take a lead. Because if we look at our records, he's 111 and 42. I'm 109 and 44. But yeah, what do you guys think of the predictions this week here? Did you guys enjoy it? Do you have any predictions? Crap, that's really loud. Do you guys have any of your own predictions for this week? Let me know down in the comments down below. This week is going to be interesting. It always is. There's always the chance of the upsets. Always upset chances. I'll catch you guys. I'm gonna try and get more into streaming because hockey season's back up and running. But until next time, guys, thank you guys for joining, and I will catch you guys later. See you guys.